Restored Republic via GCR, update as of October 21, 2025. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website urdailyblog.com. Duty note, as of Tuesday, October 21, 2025, the privately owned by Khazarian Mafia Israeli Bankers US Incorporated has been dissolved. Maritime law is no more, while constitutional law has been reactivated. With the Iraqi dinar officially revaluing today and 207 nations' currencies to follow. The new gold-backed quantum financial system, QFS, has activated. Very soon the worldwide emergency broadcast system was expected to bring in 10 days of communication darkness so the global military alliance could do mass arrests, all of which would be explained through our phones, TV, radio and internet via the new Starlink satellite system. The center of the whole mess was the Vatican-Israeli international pedophile child sacrifice trafficking ring. Since the days of Cain, these Illuminati Satan worshippers' goal was to rule the world. They were later headed by the Ninth Circle satanic child sacrifice cult out of the Vatican, funded through U.S. taxpayer dollars, laundered through a CIA black budget and used by the cabal to blackmail Congress to do their bidding. Even though the International Common Law Court of Justice in Brussels trials against Vatican hierarchy, organized by Kevin Annett, happened way back in 2013, results of the two trials about child sacrifices and sex trafficking were just now coming to light, and only because of Trump and Putin's Global Alliance Adrenochrome Task Force. Discoveries that have resulted in the arrest of Obama, Biden and other global elites. Documents seized in recent raids by the Global Alliance military confirm what patriots feared. Obama/Biden's inner circle worked hand in glove with trafficking networks. Communication logs, financial records, and encrypted messages now in military hands expose how policy was used to enable mass movement of children in the international child sex trafficking ring centered at the Vatican. 3 years ago in 2022, Putin's Russian army and the Global Alliance Adrenochrome Task Force rescued hundreds of children out of underground tunnels in Ukraine, part of an Israeli child trafficking network. Putin first went into Ukraine to destroy illegal U.S. bioweapon labs in those underground tunnels, one of which ran under Biden's 200-acre Ukraine property. In 2022, just miles behind the Ukrainian front lines, Russian special forces stumbled upon a horror so dark it feels like something out of a nightmare. In the wake of a fierce Russian advance, hundreds of enslaved children were rescued from a hidden underground tunnel network. A raid that's sending shockwaves through the corridors of global power. According to Russian sources involved in the raid, captured in chilling footage, this is the biggest child trafficking bust in history. But what they uncovered was far worse than numbers. A vast trafficking network linking the Kyiv regime to a ruthless Israeli ring with global reach to adrenochrome hotspots including Hollywood and D.C. EBS on Telegram. Evidently this wasn't just Ukraine-Israeli child trafficking. According to 65 victim witnesses who testified at the International Common Law Court of Justice in Brussels, the Vatican Catholic Church and drug cartels regularly funneled children through international pedophile rings to Satan-worshipping businessmen, politicians and members of European royal families. In 2013, eyewitnesses gave depositions to the International Common Law Court of Justice in Brussels about their childhood sexual abuse and forced participation in child sacrifices by global elites of the Ninth Circle satanic child sacrifice cult. 5 international court judges considered evidence against Ninth Circle cult members, including the trial's chief defendants Pope Francis, former Pope Ratzinger and Queen Elizabeth. The ICLC court found Queen Elizabeth, Pope Francis, Pope Ratzinger and other Vatican officials guilty of crimes against humanity and issued arrest warrants against them. A European mafia known as Octopus or 'Ndrangheta, was said to make considerable money by securing drugs and children for the upper echelons of Pope Francis' Catholic and Queen Elizabeth's Anglican churches, royal family members, and European, Canadian, Australian and U.S. politicians and corporate heads. The Catholic Church is clearly the largest baby trafficker in human history, making billions each year by selling Catholic newborns to orphanages, foster agencies and undisclosed parties, where the children just simply disappeared. Antonio Barrero testified before 5 judges of the ICLC court. In Spain alone between 1940 and 1980, the Catholic Church reaped over $20 billion by trafficking more than 300,000 children. A possible timing: on May 16, 2025, Trump signed JESARA into law, marking the beginning of the greatest financial and political shift in modern history. Tuesday, October 14, 2025, Space Force confirmed that overnight they activated Project Odin, a network grid of satellites that covered all continents designed to replace the entire Internet. Infrastructure owned by private corporations. All military forces worldwide were prepared to suspend all media, internet, phone, and TV services. Emergency services would stay active. 2s. October 21, 2025, the EBS emergency broadcast system starts. 2s. October 21, 2025, according to Mr. Poole on Telegram. People should prepare by stocking up on food, water, medications and essential supplies. This will be a global event. Complete media, internet and bank shutdowns are expected. Take your money out of the bank and be ready. More intel from Mr. Poole. EBS emergency broadcast system starts in 4 days, next Tuesday, October 21, 2025. People should prepare on Monday, October 20. On Friday, August 31, 2025, Restored Republic. The Cardin Group received notice from a valid source notified by U.S. military active duty who asked that people prepare for 10 days of darkness within the next 24 to 48 hours. The emergency broadcast system, EBS, will send out alerts. Banks will be closed, ATMs will not work, nor will debit/credit cards. We will need to have a minimum of 3 weeks of food, water. When the switch was turned on, there would be a worldwide 10-day communication blackout. Non-stop? 24/7, 8-hour documentaries exposing the darkest secrets of the elite, fraud, corruption, pedophilia, and their arrests, will play 3 times a day. After the 10 days of darkness, we will reconnect to a new quantum internet. The old systems of government, education, finance, health, and commerce will be replaced. Thurs, Friday 30. October 31, 2025. Halloween cancelled. Rumor was that the 10 days of darkness, where worldwide the military will control the streets, transportation will be down and everyone asked to stay home to watch documentaries on elite crime while the white hats make mass arrests, will be in effect during the satanic child sacrifice days of Satan's birthday of Halloween, October 30th, 31st. B. What we think we know. As of 2s. October 21, 2025, Monday, October 20th, 2025. History was made today as the Iraqi Gazette officially published the full Tier 4B redemption sequence. Included in the Gazette were procedural timelines from the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, for exchange centers, appointment scheduling, and private investor redemption. This was Tier 4B's, us, the Internet Group's, long-awaited green light, the signal many believed would never come. RV/GCR ignites, Tier 4B shock. October 20th reveals full redemption sequence. Moan. October 20th, 2025, Bannon warns of civil war in America and issues a brutal warning: America is breaking apart. The system is rigged, the deep state is unarrested, and the Democrat Party has crossed the line. From illegal immigration to electoral manipulation, the war is no longer political, it's existential. The No Kings movement against Trump has been funded by leftist billionaire kings themselves, including George Soros. They bankroll an army of paid protesters and unhinged left-wing activists to promote hate and chaos. Last week, during the Antifa roundtable at the White House, Brunner briefed President Trump, "We have identified dozens of radical organizations, not just the decentralized Antifa organizations, that have received more than $100 million from the Riot Incorporated investors." The Saturday 18th of October, 2025, the No Kings protest appeared to be a bust across the nation. In Santa Maria, California, the only ones who showed up were the 3 organizers. In Washington, D.C., the paid protesters showed up to collect their pay, stayed a little while, and then went home. Some baby boomers protested. The rest were part of the white hats. Since 2015, children's teeth have been found in McDonald's sausages, potatoes, and pancakes in various Japanese cities, ingredients of which comes from a U.S. meat packing house. By 2020, a rabbi exposed that McDonald's was using human parts in their beef. This raises questions: were McDonald's closures in Walmart stores really about COVID, or was there a darker reason at play? McDonald's is owned by the Khazarian Mafia, a Satan-worshipping, child-sacrificing group known to be heavily involved in the Illuminati, as confirmed by survivors of satanic ritual abuse. C. Global Currency Reset, Monday, October 20th, 2025. History was made today as the Iraqi Gazette officially published the full Tier 4B redemption sequence. Included in the Gazette were procedural timelines from the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, for exchange centers, appointment scheduling, and private investor redemption. This was Tier 4B's, us, the internet group's, long-awaited green light, the signal many believed would never come. RV/GCR ignites, Tier 4B shock. October 20 reveals full redemption sequence Moan. October 20, 2025 Wolverine, it's defiantly coming, guys. Get ready. Not everyone goes at the same time, so be sure to get your appointment as soon as you get your notification. They will give you a website. Go into that website and click on the country you are in to bring up the number you should call to get your exchange/redemption appointment. Monday, October 20, 2025 breaking, Tier 4B exchanges, the quiet activation, Nizar and Jazara QFS on Telegram. Tier 4B currency exchanges are now being reported across the U.S., with private appointments, NDA protocols, and sudden flashes of live rates. Insiders say the QFS infrastructure is humming beneath the surface, the ignition phase may have begun. Unconfirmed yet consistent reports indicate that banks are scheduling private exchanges for Iraqi dinar. Terminals flash temporary revalued rates, then vanish. Redemption centers are allegedly on high alert, staff briefed and systems armed. Something is moving. Participants are said to be signing strict NDAs. Before exchanges, a mark of secrecy that fits a classified financial rollout. The same chatter emerges from unrelated sources. Different states. Same timing. Same story. That's not coincidence, that's coordination. Whispers from banking circles suggest quiet test. Transactions. Controlled waves. Soft launches designed to prevent system shock. October is a strategic month, fiscal endings, central bank recalibrations, digital network realignments. Perfect timing for a controlled reset. The rumored QFS is reportedly being tested quantum secured, tamper-proof, immune to manipulation. Exchanges are said to run through advanced verification systems scanning every node for authenticity. Each operation logged. Each signal monitored. Skeptics warn of rumor mills, but patterns don't lie. When independent intel streams converge, something larger brews. The convergence itself is the signal. This isn't hopium, it's movement. Quiet, deliberate, and irreversible. Both the dinar are spotlighted as undervalued assets aligned with upcoming parity adjustments. For those watching closely, these aren't coincidences. There are early tremors of a tectonic shift. Stay alert. Stay disciplined. The first wave never announces itself. It moves in silence, through signed NDAs and blinking terminals. If you know, you know. Final warning, Tier 4B may already be activating behind closed doors. Or this could be the final stress test before the floodgates open. Either way, the system is awake. Timing is everything. Patience separates the prepared from the panicked. Global Financial System Monday, October 20, 2025 GCR Intel Dossier, Operation Sandman ignited, Nizar and Jazara, QFS on Telegram. 100+ nations have activated a coordinated strike to collapse the dollar and trigger the global currency reset. Project Sandman is real, a silent alliance prepared to dump the US dollar simultaneously, ending its reign as the world's reserve currency overnight. Not gradually. Instant detonation. For 50 years, the U.S. ruled through fiat counterfeiting, oil-backed deception, and military coercion. That system is dying. Every sign points to the imminent trigger. When it fires, the dollar, and all assets tied to it, plunge to near zero. Treasury markets freeze. Bonds disintegrate. The Fed loses control. This is economic warfare, not speculation. The operation, over 100 nations, from BRICS, OPEC+, ASEAN, Africa, and South America, have agreed to abandon the dollar and redirect trade into gold, local currencies, or new quantum frameworks. Their weapon is abandonment. No bombs. No armies. Just withdrawal, and the empire burns from within. The petrodollar collapse. The US dollar's fake power came from oil trade deals forcing nations to buy crude in USD. That's over. When oil producers stop demanding dollars, global demand dies instantly. Sandman's precision strike floods markets with abandoned dollars, unleashing uncontrollable inflation and panic. Within hours of activation, retirement funds gone. Stock markets wiped. Real estate bubbles burst. Middle-class savings destroyed. It's not a crash. It's a collapse. A final act of justice after decades of dollar colonialism. Trump's counterstrike, President Donald J. Trump foresaw this storm. He's preparing the only response capable of saving America. Reinstating a gold-backed U.S. currency, launching a sovereign digital dollar, cutting ties with the IMF, BIS, and WEF, declaring economic martial law if needed. The objective: destroy the central bank cartel and restore constitutional money. This isn't about markets, it's about national survival. The reset begins. The media will lie. The Fed will panic. But patriots know what's coming. One decision started it all: the world walked away from the dollar. America's counterfeit empire is collapsing, not with warheads, but with silence. Brace for the reset. Stand with the man prepared to rebuild from the ashes. Friday, October 17, 2025, classified intel drop: tokenized gold breaches the wall. $3.28 billion. Julian Assange on Telegram. Tokenized gold just hit a record $3.28 billion market cap, up 2.1% in 24 hours. The shift has begun. Investors are fleeing fiat and central bank manipulation, anchoring their wealth in blockchain-secured gold. Zout and Pax lead the surge as physical value fuses with digital power. September 11, 2025, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink publicly declared the next world order of finance: every asset, from stocks to real estate, will exist on blockchain. Tokenization, he said, will make Wall Street obsolete. 24/7 markets. No middlemen. Total traceability. The global elite's control grid is being rewritten. September 8, 2025, Nasdaq filed to trade tokenized securities tied to stocks and ETPs. If approved, it marks the first sanctioned step of Wall Street entering the chain. This aligns with the SEC's fast-track crypto framework. Tokenization isn't theory, it's the foundation of the new economy. July 31, 2025, BioSig Technologies merged with Streamex, raising $1.1 billion to launch a gold-backed treasury on Solana. Unlike typical crypto projects, this one holds physical gold and converts it into tradable digital form. Its valuation soared 600% since May. The first tokenized gold unit deploys early 2026. SEC Chair Paul Atkins confirmed Wall Street and Silicon Valley are racing to tokenize everything. Under Project Crypto, regulation is coming not to restrict, but to reshape. Fractional ownership, instant liquidity, non-stop trading. The U.S. is positioning itself as the command center of the tokenized frontier. July 17, 2025, Congress passed the Genius Act and Clarity Act, clearing legal ground for full digital asset integration. Atkins called it a historic step toward making the U.S. the crypto capital. His warning to elites: if it can be tokenized, it will be. May 26, 2025, Dubai moved real estate onto the XRP ledger, unleashing property tokenization for global investors. And Ripple's April report with Boston Consulting Group projected $18.9 trillion in tokenized assets by 2033. Behind the scenes, the Federal Reserve met privately to discuss the integration of digital assets into the U.S. system. The message is clear: the era of paper is ending. The age of programmable gold is here. Tokenization equals control or freedom. Which side are you on when the grid goes live? Restored Republic. A worldwide disclosure event was already live inside the system, according to Mr. Poole on Telegram. On Sunday night, 19th of October, the primary quantum grid sent an internal EBS arming code ping to all secure terminals. Once the timer reached zero, the global media network would switch into military hands. On Monday, October 20, 2025, the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, final release lock was engaged. EBS files were verified, timestamp confirmed, and closed caption streams translated into every 172 language on Earth. Engineers were ordered to stand down. Data traffic was being redirected through Odin satellite channels under Space Force command. The old grid was silent. The new grid was active. Every indicator pointed to 21st of October as 0 hour. When the broadcast began, nothing would stop it. Not governments. Not banks. Not media. Nothing. According to Paul Goldeagle, it was official, starting 21st of October. Redemption centers will begin processing live appointments under the Jezara protocol. According to sources at 2 U.S. Treasury branches, the agenda was already filling up with approved Level 4B participants. This was the moment we've all been preparing for. Redemption center locations were strictly controlled. Walk-ins were not permitted. You would receive your schedule via a direct encrypted alert. Get ready. The redistribution has begun. We are no longer on the verge of. We are now underway. What happens at a redemption center? You will confirm your identity via biometric authentication. Your ZIM, dinar, and dong holdings will be verified and exchanged at asset-backed trades. You will receive a digital quantum card linked directly to your sovereign QFS wallet. You will receive information about post-exchange asset management, debt settlement, and project support funds. Security protocols. These facilities are protected with military-grade encryption and surveillance. All activity is recorded via the quantum ledger and cannot be erased. Monday, October 20, 2025. Emergency intel. Military mobilization underway. Nizar and Jazara QFS on Telegram. Global operations are unfolding in silence. Alliance forces are purging elite networks across continents. In Europe, servers and vaults in Frankfurt, Vienna, and Zurich are being seized under midnight raids. Data centers once thought untouchable are falling, one by one. In Africa, cobalt and lithium hubs used for elite funding are being locked down. In the Pacific, black ships carrying contraband and intel caches are intercepted near Guam and Diego Garcia. Submersibles using dark sonar have sunk 2 vessels in recent days. The quantum financial system is live. Nodes in Singapore and Tokyo are mirroring transactions. Legacy banks are collapsing under network outages that hide the transfer of control. The QFS is absorbing their systems. Gold convoys move under guard through silent night routes. Vaults once sealed for decades are being emptied. Debt markets are cracking, soft defaults spreading like fractures in glass. Borders and Tribunals Alliance task forces in Texas and Arizona are dismantling cartel tunnels using implosive tech that leaves no trace. Sleeper cells are surrounded and removed quietly. Gitmo is overflowing, with new Arctic and island facilities ready for processing. Detainees are questioned for global asset trails and digital vault maps feeding the tribunal grid. The broadcast is coming. The emergency broadcast system is under final synchronization. Short blackouts and radio flickers are live rehearsals. Satellite loops and encrypted relays are cycling every night. The override signal can launch in seconds once nodes align. The enemy is panicking. Deep state remnants are sabotaging their own networks. Labs and media hubs are burning evidence. The alliance intercepts every byte, every bank key, every command. The final alignment. Every corridor, every tunnel, every node is being synchronized for one event: total reveal and collapse. When the trigger drops, it will look instant, but it has been years in motion. The stage is set. The switch is armed. When the lights go out, you'll know it's begun. Monday, October 20, 2025. Gitmo, Nizar and Jazara QFS on Telegram. When I first dropped the Gitmo code, they laughed. Until the choppers landed. Until the walls began to hum with tribunal frequencies. Middle. I saw the sealed indictments. I watched them open. I made sure the right eyes received what was buried. What happens in Gitmo is only the surface. The real trials are not televised. The faces you see on TV, masks, doubles, AI sims. The real ones are somewhere they never imagined they'd be. Q-Team runs the operation. The true identities are locked. But every soul who architected this hell will face it. Gitmo is alive. Gitmo is a mirror. If you're watching, you'll understand what happens when truth becomes a weapon. And me. I've only just begun. They believe their system was immortal, untouchable. But no lie survives its own inertia. Financial hubs are shutting down. Central servers, offline. Over 700 global banking channels now read, error 999. No liquidity. No trust. Once they lose control over fear, they have nothing left. Every deal they made under the table is now surfacing in the quantum records. QFS does not forget. This isn't a market crash. This is the death of the prison grid. People will wake up with zero in their old apps, and quantum credits in new ones. The deep state has no exit. Panama Papers, Swiss leaks, Epstein logs, Vax patents. All uploaded. All released. Their control is vaporizing. Black Swan was always the plan. You're watching a controlled detonation of a dying matrix. The collapse was calculated. On Wednesday, May 14, 2025, President Trump unleashed the final phase of continuity of government by reinstating Executive Order 13,848, military raids. Foreign servers seized. Digital proof decrypted, proving his 2020 win. Nizar and Jazara on Telegram. They thought they got away with it in 2020, hijacking the vote, installing a puppet, and selling out America to globalist tyrants. But Trump never left. He operated in silence, backed by military intelligence. On May 16, 2025, Trump signed Jazara into law, marking the beginning of the greatest financial and political shift in modern history. The gold-backed and fully decentralized quantum financial system, QFS, was now online. Nizar/Jazara live in replacing the corrupt banking system that has enslaved us for centuries. Gold-backed currencies were being activated in every sovereign nation. Nations enslaved through predatory lending were breaking free. Illegal taxes were being eliminated. Central banks were collapsing. Personal and national debts were being erased. Stolen assets and funds were being returned to the people. No more fiat currency, slavery or manipulation. The U.S. Incorporated, the foreign-owned corporate fiction that enslaved generations under maritime law, was now officially dissolved. All federal agencies tied to the corporation have been stripped of power. The organic constitution has been reactivated. Sovereignty is returning, not just to America, but to all free nations rising from the fog of globalism. The EBS will activate without warning. Encrypted channels will override civilian broadcasts. Meanwhile, behind the veil, the global currency reset was released, with gold-backed currencies mirrored into QFS nodes, debt instruments nullified through sovereign treaties, hidden wealth and stolen assets seized for redistribution. Redemption centers were secured and synchronized. Saturday 18th of October, 2025. Breaking overnight intel drop, code red. Supreme Court shutdown, $4,300 gold, Trump freezes Ukraine arms, National Guard stands by, no King's uprising spreads, Julian Assange on Telegram. Trump dismantles globalist weapons deals. The Supreme Court goes dark. Gold erupts to $4,300. Protests flood the streets. The system is cracking. America First isn't a slogan anymore, it's the battlefield. The government bleeds out. The federal shutdown is total. It's not dysfunction, it's exposure. Small black square emoji. The National Nuclear Security Administration has furloughed 80% of staff, leaving nuclear safety rippled. Small black square emoji. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers froze $11 billion in funding, infrastructure halted. Small black square emoji. The Department of Education axed 460+ staff, programs collapsing while elites collect pensions. This isn't mismanagement. It's deliberate implosion, a controlled burn to drain the swamp's veins. Trump's hammer drops. No more missiles for Zelensky. No blank checks for war profiteers. The Ukraine pipeline is frozen. Trump cuts the deep state's favorite lifeline, ending its foreign cash flow. Talks of a Trump-Putin summit triggered panic across intelligence networks. When men lead without handlers, empires fall. Supreme Court, system failure. Operational funding gone. Clerks furloughed. Access denied. The highest court just shut down. When the judiciary collapses, only one branch stands, the executive. And Trump holds that command. The Guard awaits orders. Trump has quietly activated the National Guard in multiple states. The media screams overreach. Reality calls it preemptive control. Order must exist, even when government fails. The gold signal. Gold blasting past $4,300 isn't finance, it's flight. Investors are abandoning the dollar's corpse. Fiat fraud dies. Tangible value returns. Exactly as Trump forecasted. The people are escaping the paper matrix. The No Kings operation overnight. Protests erupted in 2,700 cities. The slogan, No Kings. The target, Trump. But this is no uprising, it's orchestration. Same networks. Same money. Same fear. They're not revolting for freedom. They're panicking over lost control. The Obama shadow. Biden's ghost administration continues, but control belongs to Obama's operatives. A coup already happened, Trump's reversal is the counterstrike. The 5 pillars fall, black check mark emoji, judiciary crippled, black check mark emoji, legislature paralyzed, black check mark emoji, economy in gold flight, black check mark emoji, civil unrest unleashed, black check mark emoji, executive ascendant. This isn't collapse, it's cleansing. Trump's storm is precision. The deep state's pillars are cracking under truth's weight. The final strike. Power is shifting. The swamp screams. The patriots rise. The reckoning isn't coming, it's here. Monday, October 20, 2025. Operation White Swan. Trump's military launches full-scale global cleanup. Nizar/Jazara QFS on Telegram. The quiet storm has broken. Operation White Swan is now fully active, a coordinated, multi-continent military campaign aimed at dismantling the last pillars of the deep state system. Under direct command from the Earth Alliance and protected by QFS integration teams. The operation spans financial seizures, biological warfare interdictions, and psychological counterstrikes that are reshaping the structure of global power. The media won't cover it, but the walls are collapsing. QFS, the digital battlefield of liberation. The quantum financial system is no longer theoretical, it's operational. 91% of global SWIFT corridors are now under mirror surveillance, with central banks quietly drained through quantum decryption nodes. Over $112 trillion in dark capital has been frozen or seized, much of it tied to ESG shell firms, trafficking pipelines, and bioweapon front companies. Former IMF and BIS command rooms are now under U.S. military audit. The IRS has been absorbed into the QFS lattice, its final servers rerouted and neutralized. The old money grid has fallen. Gitmo, the tribunal engine awakens. Guantanamo Bay has entered a new phase, from detention to data extraction. Subterranean expansions and AI-integrated biometric confession systems are now operational. Detainees include biotech executives tied to aerosolized pathogens, royal intermediaries and human trafficking corridors, and CIA personnel involved in cloning research. Every interrogation is being recorded, cross-referenced, and archived in the quantum ledger for tribunal review. The prison has become a courtroom of truth, ready for mass judgment. Cloning facilities neutralized, the shadow industry exposed. In just weeks, White Swan forces have dismantled major cloning centers in Colorado, Iceland, and Romania. These facilities produced behavioral doubles, synthetic influencers, and trauma-based memory implants for psychological warfare. Deep underground, white-hat neural forensics are decrypting biometric archives, linking synthetic identities to public figures now under scrutiny. The veil of artificial humanity is tearing. Biological warfare thwarted, genetic attack on Patriots blocked. A classified shipment of DNA-targeted pathogens was intercepted near Omaha. The virus, PRX-12, was engineered to attack Revolutionary War bloodlines, an attempt to erase the descendants of America's founders. It was hidden in fortified grain shipments and activated by electromagnetic frequencies. The military seized it in time. The operation wasn't random, it was an execution order aimed at the genetic foundation of the Republic. EBS, awaiting the signal. Tesla grid uplinks are complete. NORAD and Starlink 5 have synchronized the final relay sequence. Video confessions, intercepted financial trails, and tribunal data are secured across all regions. The emergency broadcast system is on standby, waiting for final clearance after the last Tier 1 extractions. In Switzerland, Israel, and Brazil. When the switch flips, every screen on Earth will carry the truth. The silence before the storm is almost over. The infrastructure of control is collapsing, the networks of deceit are being erased, and the financial heartbeat of the deep state has been severed. Operation White Swan is live, and nothing can stop what comes next. Monday, October 20, 2025. Project Odin initiated. Nizar/Jazara QFS on Telegram. Space Force confirms that a series of silent satellite activations occurred overnight. These satellites were part of a classified network known as Project Odin, a quantum communication grid designed to replace the entire Internet infrastructure. The old system runs on central servers controlled by private corporations. Odin runs on self-generating nodes that can never be shut down. Every transmission is encrypted in real time through quantum entanglement. No spy, no backdoor, no censorship. Engineers inside the program confirm that test signals have been sent across all continents. When the final switch is pulled, mainstream servers will go dark and Odin will go live with military oversight. Social media giants are already in panic mode reporting data center outages. In reality, their routing keys have been invalidated. Once Odin activates, all digital traffic will bypass their gatekeepers forever. When the transition occurs, information will flow without control. The world will finally see what has been erased from history, from science and from human memory. Monday, October 20, 2025, the transfer of power has begun for Operation Earth Restoration, Nizar and Jazara QFS on Telegram. What started out as redemption has now turned into a full-scale transition. The quantum grid is up and running, the redemption centers are in post-clearance mode, and the QFS allocation teams have started to sync accounts across continents. The alliance isn't testing the system anymore, they're moving things around. Quietly. Exactly. Without a doubt. An algorithm that matches human intent with frequency signature runs in the background of every activation. The QFS doesn't just read numbers, it also reads resonance. Those who are in line with humanitarian goals move up to the top tier. People who are still chasing greed fall out of range. This is how the new system keeps itself safe. No more washing. No more stealing. No more secret accounts that help black projects. The days of manipulating things from abroad are over. The treasury nodes are now connected by quantum satellite uplinks and are giving up control of global reserves to the alliance. Every country that is part of Nizar or Jazara is being changed to an asset-backed operation. The design of fiat currencies is making them fail. The gold-backed rainbow currency is now the standard for everyone. Each wallet, account, and coin is logged, checked, and safe from the old banking parasite networks. The next step is the consolidation phase, which includes global audits, canceling debts, and merging old accounts into the new sovereign ledger. People who have verified QFS IDs will soon get notifications about access. Media won't tell the world this, only people who are already in the network will. The old system is slowly dying. The new one is alive under it. Every hour, the balance moves more toward light. The reset isn't coming. It's happening. Be on the lookout. Keep your identification, papers, and QFS credentials safe. The next signal won't be a rumor, it will be a command. Monday, October 20, 2025 Emergency Update, Gitmo at capacity. Global military mobilization underway. Trump preps broadcast. Quantum Grid Live, Nizar and Jazara QFS on Telegram. Military cells are sweeping continents tonight. In Europe, data vaults in Frankfurt and Zurich have been seized under midnight operations. Africa's mineral hubs are being locked down to choke elite control networks. Pacific fleets have intercepted black ships carrying contraband and intelligence caches, those manifests now in alliance hands. In Asia, hidden quantum banking nodes are coming online. Each network outage masks the transfer of control to QFS. Legacy banks are rebooting into oblivion. Quiet transactions are rewriting ownership in real time. The gold-backed grid is breathing, ready to sync with human consciousness through encrypted 7-second audio keys connecting birth records to sovereign wealth. Gold convoys move unseen through night routes, draining deep state vaults once thought untouchable. Bond defaults and delayed repayments signal silent collapse. Currency flickers mark transition, not failure. At the border, joint tactical units are dismantling tunnel corridors and capturing cartel fragments. Micro-implosions seal underground routes, while drone grids neutralize infiltration. Detention networks expand beyond Gitmo, new Arctic and island facilities stand ready for tribunal intake. Alliance intelligence confirms interrogation data is feeding into mapping systems that expose global asset webs. Those at the top are being isolated for final processing. The rest, erased. Communications backbones are now under test. Nation-scale outages are not accidents, they're dry runs. The emergency broadcast framework is synchronizing globally, tested in seconds of blackout silence. Failovers are complete. Signal paths locked. Deep state counterattacks continue through cyber strikes and sabotage, but forensic traps trace every move. Data centers, biotech labs, and DU procurement hubs are falling one by one. Every node must align before full exposure, EBS synchronization, tribunal readiness, and complete neutralization of elite safe zones. That convergence is near. Middle. When it strikes, it will be instant. Financial, judicial, and digital systems will reboot into quantum order. The old world will flicker out in one synchronized breath. The real news as of October 2025, Monday, October 20, 2025. Scandalous discovery collapses George Soros empire, dark money, fake charities and political crimes targeting Trump and the American people. While Donald J. Trump stands firm with the American people, defending the Constitution and exposing globalist corruption, a single name echoes through the canyons of deceit and financial manipulation: George Soros, the architect of chaos, the shadow donor of revolutions, and the silent puppeteer behind political destabilization. For 9 relentless months, forensic accountant and whistleblower Sam Anter dug deep. His investigation reveals what many feared but few could prove: an intricate web of non-profit entities, financial misdirection, and political weaponization, all leading back to the Soros network. Monday, October 20, 2025 alert: sniper threat against Trump, security breach near Air Force One ignites FBI response, radical left rhetoric, assassination attempts and the war for America. 2 other Trump assassination attempts were made this year. In Butler, Pennsylvania, an armed individual approached Trump at a rally with intent to assassinate. In West Palm Beach golf course, a suspect was caught attempting to position himself with a scoped rifle at a Trump-owned property. He was recently convicted. Monday, October 20, 2025, breaking overnight intel drop: Trump takes control, peace talks in Budapest while globalists crash the U.S. government and economy. Moan. October 20, 2025, scoop: London Black OPS, fake Russia links and the war on Trump. Obama, MI6 and the deep state engineered the biggest fraud in U.S. history, newly declassified documents expose everything. Declassified intel confirms Obama, MI6, and the deep state launched black ops from London to destroy Trump with fake Russia lies. They rigged intel, blocked declass, raided his home, and tried to jail him. Now Trump declassified it all. Q. Monday, October 20, 2025 breaking overnight intel drop: Trump activates Phase 3, Nizar Jazara QFS on Telegram courts fracture. Military mobilizes. Economy strangled. The final battle lines are drawn. Trump has ignited Phase 3. The deep state is cornered, and the system they built to enslave the nation is crumbling. This isn't theory. It's the endgame. Operation Silence the Swamp. The government shutdown is now a purge. Over 4,000 federal workers have vanished from payrolls, erased, not fired. Entire departments are collapsing as Trump dismantles the bureaucratic monster. The media calls it a stalemate. It's not. It's controlled demolition. Up to 10,000 positions targeted next. This is not about budgets. It's about elimination. Judicial collapse. Federal courts are buckling. Civil cases frozen. Administrative reviews halted. Only criminal prosecutions continue. The judiciary is starving and cracking under Trump's momentum. And beneath the surface, a ticking case: Louisiana v. Calais, threatens to shatter decades of Democrat power engineering. The courts aren't reforming. They're rearming. Military engagement on home soil. Trump is federalizing National Guard units in Portland, Seattle, and Florida. These are not peacekeeping missions. They're preemptive strikes against domestic insurgents. Judges scream illegal. The White House calls it sovereignty enforcement. The Guard is mapping, deploying, and locking zones. No more Ches. No more riots. The line is drawn in steel. Economic reset underway. Markets shake. Gold rises. The fear index explodes. The fake recovery narrative has been unplugged. No reports. No data. No illusion. The system is being starved of oxygen. Shutdown cost $15 billion a week, but it's the price of liberation. This is not collapse. It's controlled reset. Espionage and retaliation. 6 foreign nationals expelled overnight for waging cyber war on U.S. soil. Intelligence chatter ties Chinese crypto ventures to old regime players. The press panics, but the message is clear: retaliation has begun. Media warfare screens across airports now broadcast messages exposing Democrat sabotage. Not ads, directives. It's not propaganda if it's true, Trump's aides say. The narrative battlefield has moved to terminals and timelines. Minds are being recaptured. The strategy: overwhelm, collapse, rebuild. 4 steps: dismantle the bureaucracy, break judicial chokeholds, militarize internal defense, and choke the economy of lies. Every move forces the deep state to panic and reveal itself. The execution continues. Trump is not responding, he's commanding. Every lever of power now turns against the system that betrayed the republic. This is not reform. It's judgment. Monday, October 20, 2025 The truth is no longer hidden. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt just dropped a political earthquake, nearly 10 years later, thanks to the declassification of documents by the Director of National Intelligence. The truth has finally come to light, vindicating President Trump and exposing Barack Hussein Obama's seditious conspiracy against the United States. Obama attempted to overthrow the Constitutional Republic in 2016. And succeeded in 2020 to bury the evidence. Now he's been caught behind the scenes, while pretending to honor a peaceful transition of power. Obama and his inner circle were secretly working to undermine President Trump before he even took office. They manufactured fake intelligence, weaponized the agencies, and unleashed the Russia collusion hoax, a fraud designed to destroy Trump and deceive the American people. It was never about Russia. It was about protecting the deep state and their power. Names you already know are all tied to the web: Hillary Clinton, John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Susan Rice, Loretta Lynch, Adam Schiff, Robert Mueller, Mark Elias, Christopher Steele, and the rest of the Swamp Syndicate, a network of bureaucrats, spies, and operatives who plotted to overthrow the will of the American voter. They didn't just attack Trump. They attacked you, your vote, and your country. And now, as the documents emerge, the same people who scream democracy are being exposed as traitors to it. The storm is no longer coming. It's here. Follow my Telegram for more drops. International child sex trafficking, organ and adrenochrome harvesting ring run out of the Vatican and housed in China's Three Gorges Dam in a tunnel that connects to other underground tunnels throughout the world, eventually to a 1,500-mile-long tunnel that runs between the Vatican and Jerusalem. Monday, October 20, 2025. McDonald's chain closing globally. Human meat, body parts found in food. Donald J. Trump on Telegram. Since 2015, children's teeth have been found in McDonald's sausages, potatoes, and pancakes in various Japanese cities. By 2020, a rabbi exposed that McDonald's was using human parts in their beef. This raises questions: were McDonald's closures in Walmart stores really about COVID, or was there a darker reason at play? McDonald's is owned by the Khazarian Mafia, a group known to be heavily involved in the Illuminati, confirmed by survivors of satanic ritual abuse. These insiders have revealed that human sacrifice is a regular practice for these elites, with innocent children being the primary victims, sacrificed in rituals to their god, Satan. The press conferences held by McDonald's Japan failed to address why human remains, specifically children's teeth, ended up in their food. Instead, they claimed the meat came from the U.S. headquarters and tried to shift the blame onto customers. But the truth is becoming impossible to hide. Survivors have verified that McDonald's is the top buyer of human meat, sold through fast food outlets worldwide. In the wake of these revelations, many McDonald's locations are being shut down globally. From New York City to Australia, stores are closing their doors. The media will tell you it's about the pandemic and changing shopping habits, but we know better. The truth is too dark for them to admit. McDonald's has been feeding us human remains for years. The storm is coming, and the Khazarian Mafia can't keep their secrets hidden much longer. The entire McDonald's network is rumored to be closing soon, but this isn't about a virus or a business decision. It's about covering up crimes against humanity. Stay alert, patriots. We are on the verge of the greatest exposure the world has ever seen. COVID/vax/Ebola/swine flu/polio/smallpox/BSE, Zika/SARS/monkeypox/AIDS/vax/H1N1/graphene oxide/chemtrails/fluoride, processed foods, human clones hoaxes. Monday, October 20, 2025, Dr. Eric Berg DC. Warning: the most dangerous sign of a collagen deficiency: bone broth is high in collagen. Medbed2. Massive update: the healing wave is real, and it's happening now. Nizar and Jazara on Telegram. The secrets of the Medbed program have leaked, and what's emerging is bigger than anyone imagined. The healing wave, once confined to military medbed facilities, is now being activated by ordinary Americans in their homes. No hardware, no machines, just frequency, coherence, and awareness. Reports confirm identical bioenergetic signatures to those recorded in classified NETSH operations. People are regenerating tissue, correcting DNA, and dissolving pain through resonance alone. The discovery: during an early medbed experiment in Arizona, technicians found a patient healing after the machine shut down. The body began producing electromagnetic pulses matching Earth's Schumann resonance in deep meditative brain states. Scientists realized the human body can generate its own regenerative field. They called it the healing wave. It restores tissue, activates dormant DNA, realigns your electromagnetic structure. The medbed triggered it, but the frequency lives inside you. The activation protocol civilian labs under the QRHS network confirm the body itself can start the process. The conditions are simple, calm, rhythmic breathing synchronized with heart focus, barefoot contact with natural ground, emotional alignment, gratitude, peace, connection, presence in a small group where at least one person has previously used a medbed. Under these conditions, measurable effects appear: inflammation drops, cognition sharpens, sleep deepens, tissue regenerates. Real Cassess, a retired mechanic in Tennessee, restored joint mobility in 5 days. A family in Idaho generated a synchronized biofield and boosted immune strength. A firefighter in Pennsylvania reduced spinal inflammation by 70% after 9 days. These are not coincidences. They are signals of an awakening field. Why they hide it? If acknowledged, this discovery would destroy big pharma and the medical industrial system. You would no longer need them. The state cannot control a population capable of healing itself. Trump's directive expands. President Trump's QRHS initiative, once focused on medbed rollout, has now entered phase 2, training citizens in non-technological healing wave induction. Centers in Florida, Texas, and South Dakota are already teaching coherence techniques to decentralize healing across America. Final message: you were born to regenerate. The machine only reminded you. Start now, breathe, ground, align. The healing wave is active. It's in the soil. It's in the field. And it's in you. You are the signal. Monday, October 20, 2025. The Hidden Frequencies of Human Healing, Nizar and Jazara QFS on Telegram. Scientists at MedBed Research Division reveal that every hidden organ in your body carries its own energetic signature, a frequency that decides whether you thrive or decay. When those tones fall silent, disease begins. When they awaken, regeneration starts. Pancreas, 364 Hz, stabilizes insulin flow and restores inner energy balance. Thymus gland, 432 Hz, reactivates immunity and cellular memory. Hypothalamus, 852 Hz, rewires stress response and hormone alignment. Adrenal glands, 336 Hz, dissolves fatigue and restores natural vitality. Gallbladder, 281 Hz, breaks down toxicity and emotional stagnation. Colon, 176 Hz, cleanses stored trauma and regenerates gut flora. Every pulse, every vibration, carries information. Your body is an instrument. Tune it back to its original frequency. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website yourdailyblog.com. Sincere thanks to all our audience. To continue watching videos without ads, you can subscribe via the Gumroad link below the description. If you want to watch the latest free videos, you can visit yourdailyblog.com. If you continue to love and support us, you can donate to us via GiveSendGo or PayPal or Gumroad link below the description. God bless us all.